Greetings and a warm welcome to this week's edition of 401k Real Talk. This is Fred Barstein, contributing editor at wealthmanagement.com's RPA Omnichannel and CEO at Trow, TPSU, and 401k TV. I review all of the past week's stories and select the most important and interesting ones, providing open, honest, and candid discussion you will not get anywhere else. So let's get real. First story, the unstoppable U.S. job market beat all expectations in September, adding 254,000 jobs, which is a 6-month high, while unemployment rates dropped a tick to 4.1%. There were 95,000 fewer job layoffs in the past month. Experts are mixed about how this report could affect interest rates, but many think that the strong job market will result in quarter-point reductions. So while the war for talent has cooled, the focus on recruiting and retention remains high, with retirement plans a cheap and efficient way for employers to distinguish themselves. Next story, TPG emerged as the winner as PE firms lined up to provide funding to creative planning, with $375 billion under management at a reported $16 billion valuation, which would be 23 times EBITDA. That compares to Fisher's recent $12.5 billion valuation, with $275 billion AUM at 20 to 21 times EBITDA, and CapTrust last year at $3.7 billion, which recently hit $1 trillion, but most with institutions like DC Plans, where revenue is much lower. Like Fisher and CapTrust, Creative Planning retains a majority interest. CEO Peter Mallouk owned 75% in 2021, subsequently giving employees 10%. One of the largest RIAs, Mallouk noted, "We are very small," comparing his company to the big banks and brokerage firms. Creative is expected to use the additional capital to continue to fund 3 initiatives. Number 1, creating consumer brands through marketing and advertising. Number 2, leveraging the convergence of wealth, retirement, and benefits at work. And number 3, growing through acquisitions. None of their competitors have all 3, as Fisher has spun off its 401k advisory division led by Nathan Fisher and does not normally acquire. And CapTrust does not have a consumer brand, nor are they leveraging benefits, making Creative a formidable force in the wealth, retirement, and benefits markets, partly through their strategic relationship with Lockton. Next story. After being hit with lawsuits, a whistleblower filing, and fines by regulators, personal data of almost 9,000 TIA's retail clients have been compromised through Infosys McCamish, a third-party vendor. Data from other record keepers using Infosys McCamish were compromised last year, all of which highlights issues that record keepers face. Hackers are more likely to go after their vendors, or their vendors, like MoveIt, whose security may not be as strong, which makes Fidelity's recent announcement to ban credential sharing firms like Future Capital and Pantera that much more understandable. Next story, Walgreens, with a reported 240,000 employees, will be offering student loan debt repayment services, joining Abbott Labs, Verizon, and Chipotle. Though Secure 2.0 officially allows plans to offer the option, adoption is slow, as many are still concerned about complexities, even with self-reporting, and smaller plans are just starting to become aware of the option. Some are questioning whether it's fair to provide a benefit to one segment of the workforce, asking, what about those struggling to pay their mortgage, for example? Regardless, these programs make too much sense and have become a valuable engagement tool and are expected to grow, but perhaps not as fast as we had thought, as adoption in new services and DC plans moves very slowly. Next story. The defined contribution industry continues to focus on products and services that it thinks plan sponsors and participants should want based on logic and traditional market research. Yet the greatest breakthroughs have come through understanding how people behave and then apply solutions that can address that behavior. Read my recent wealthmanagement.com column about how AI could dramatically improve DC plans, just as BFI has done and continues to do. And last but not least, my previous poll asked, which of these 4 teams is most likely to win the 2024 World Series? Respondents were very wise, as the Baltimore Orioles were ranked last, not even making it out of the wild card series. The Dodgers were the highest at 33%, followed by the Phillies and my Yankees at 19%. I only had 4 choices to offer, so others like the Guardians, Royals, Mets, and Padres could not be included, though they did get some write-in votes. So those were the most important and interesting stories from the past week. I listed a few others I thought were worth reading, covering LPL fires their CEO, Dan Arnold, Schwab CEO Walt Bettinger turns over the reins, why student loan debt adoption is slow, in-depth analysis of how to vet provider cybersecurity measures, and why plan sponsors should be hiring a qualified co-fiduciary. Please let me know if I missed anything or if you'd like to comment. Otherwise, I look forward to speaking to you next week on 401k Real Talk.